What was your average size fish?
Over 24. For the whole, I mean, even the ones we got smaller, but day one, I'll tell you how day one went. Our catch ratio was so low during practice that we actually kept the 16 and a half inch. And then we kept the 17 and 3/4. Yep. And then we got 26 and a half and 28 and a half back to back on boards. So now, you know, okay, now we threw away like a 20 and a 20. We still had several hours to go, and then we caught a 24 and a half and 25 and a half. The day we started with him, everything was over 26.
Jeez. And I forgot, where was it, Mike?
Green Bay, out of Marionette.
Oh, okay.
West side of Green Bay, and day one we went north.
Look, gentlemen.
Hey, have a great trip.
We will. Day one we went south and fished down the mud with 90 out of 108 other boats. It was absolute shit fest down there. I mean, it looked like guys combining corn. There was boats as far as you could see in front and behind you, and you were 6 or 7 wide, and everyone had 4 boards out.
I was just going to say, that's combat fishing in front of the lighthouse. Yeah.
Thankfully, they kept you to 4 boards, because you can only have 2 presentations. Oh, you get 4 presentations, 2 per person. So even if the state law was 3 rods, you can only have 2.
Matt, I have ice in that silver chest. Doing my clean the worms thing.
Best trick ever. Best trick ever.
Oh, I can't stand grinding it in the deck, and I can't stand hands like this all trip long.
All trip long.
Tone, what are you doing?
Huh?
I know what you're doing, but what are you doing?
Oh, okay. So if you're going to fish with worms, this is the cleanest and the best way to keep them fresh. Clean because your hands are clean throughout the trip, and clean because if you have a carpeted boat, you're not going to grind these into the carpet. You're also going to keep your hands nice and clean, and it just minimizes all the aggravation that you go through when you deal with bedding and worms. So I wash them first, then I put them on ice. Obviously the ice is going to melt. Cold water. I read this in Reader's Digest, believe it or not even a fishing magazine.
Stop, really?
Honest to goodness, years and years and years ago. I've been doing this forever. These worms will live 24 hours in cold water without any harm. So down here I have my full chest with 400 to 500 worms in it. At the end of the outing, I'll put these on paper towels. I'll dry them and put them back in here because I don't want any extra moisture in
with the bedding?
My bedding is dirt. It's
Okay.
the best bedding you can use.
Okay.
They live in dirt, they grow in dirt.
Huh.
I feed them coffee grounds.
Okay, I was going to say, I was talking about that with Don Birdie the other day. My grandpa always put coffee grounds in there.
Absolutely. They love coffee grounds.
Yep.
And I love having clean hands during the outing, and I like looking at the deck of my boat and not seeing all the dirt that would be on it.
Yeah. No, I don't have any
You didn't
line
spool
for
it up
him yet.
yet?
I just, that's homie.
That's home.
I've got your other ones in the bag, the ones you didn't take last week when we fished.
Yeah. I walked right out, walked right away and
They're in the
forgot all
bag. I
about
got
them.
'em up front.
XF for extra fast.
Yep.
And it doesn't say if it's a medium or
The
heavy.
4 stands for medium.
That's
four.
a 3.
It's
Yep.
a 3, so it's medium light.
They do 1 through 5 on their power ratings, and that's just an old Okuma I got on it because my Revo X.
I mean, this is almost weightless, I can tell.
First time I picked it up in Mike's shop, I'm like, oh my
You put
God.
my Stratic I4 Plus on this,
Oh yeah.
and you won't feel any weight.
No.
6.3 ounces.
And I took this right here and just took some hockey tape, so I had a little room for my thumb because in my forefinger.
Is this the?
That's a Tatula.
Oh, it's a tulip. Oh yeah.
That's a nasty little.
Oh yeah. That's the way to go. Yeah.
And you'll find today when you fish a tone, Mike's blades run so great anyway. But the moment you move that tip, you can feel that blade start, and it's thunk, 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 thunk instantly.
That's a Xenon, and I'm with Pure Fishing.
Okay.
So 2 weeks before Christmas, I get an email and they said, anything you want on our websites and our products, 50% off. I treated myself. That's like I don't know, $400 and something rod, and that's an expensive reel too.
Worm trawlers got it out of the world. How do you guys see those hits? Look at that. I see that. They're homing. Looks like it's a blade. There we go.
Homie, duck clown. Is that they have such a beautiful gold color.
You just missed one before that cast.
I did.
Right at the boat.
Right at the boat. To me, it looks like they're gold plated, and then somebody has laid the dark over them, because you can see that beautiful gold color that shines through. They're gorgeous fish.
This little bugger, the round goby, thought it was a good idea to pick on this little bugger, the jigging wrap. We win. Just couldn't cast the shoal because everything you cast east to west, you drag over piles of that stuff.
The first hour and a half to 2 hours is mostly instruction, teaching them how to put the stuff in and out, put in charge of the 2 wire rods.
Who knew?
People jerking in the back, and then I put somebody in charge of the board.
There he is.
It's a boat. Right at the boat.
Ooh, sheepy. Yep. No, smallmouth. Oh! I almost scooped him out of midair. Oh.
When you're picking your baits.
You know, I mean, the rule of thumb: dark day, dark color; light day, light colors. But I mix it up. I'm impatient. I'm not going to stay with a thing for a long time unless it's friendly and good to me. So I tend to change more than other people do. And then when I'm with customers, we never start with the same color, same lure. I go across the board with different stuff. Somebody catches 2 fish before anybody else, we go across the board with everything.
All right, so that's an excellent question. So then how long is your patience in minutes? I mean, if you pull into a spot, you see what you want to see, but they don't go, you're going to give them 20 minutes, half an hour, 10 minutes?
I'm going to give them, 2, 3 drifts, and if we don't catch what we're looking for, we're gone. And I don't have to go far, I'll take a different line, go a little south of where I was, a little north.
So then you start going spot in a spot.
Right.
Yeah. This lake is, they say that there's 1 million walleyes in this lake. So if you took it and cut it, let's say it's 20 miles long, cut it into 10 equal clips, that's about a 2-mile stretch. And down here maybe
6 miles, the widest part, right out of Freemac Marina.
Okay.
You got Canasarega Creek comes in Lakeport Bay. Lakeport Bay dips. My experience this year is I don't see the concentrated spoons yet. I see groups, but not what I would call a 1/4 to a half a mile drift where you constantly have 5, 6 fish on the screen all the time.
I'll tell you, Mike, that day that you and I filmed the instructional video, biggest thing I've taken away that has completely changed how I fish your blades is your simple catch it before it hits the water, immediately test it to make sure it's running, and then pull a little bit of line off your reel to check for a wind knot, and then let it sink. And
taking it one step further, when you flip the bail over by hand, and then if you're taking, just check your drag by a little bit.
This is my 47.
You're getting up there. Let's say you've seen a few things.
Oh yeah. Simple when I first started. 3-way swivel, about an 8 to 10 inch dropper, loaded up with pinch-on #2 split shots, depending on how much of a drift we had. Gold hook, no spinner, just a worm. Days with no drift, 6-7 inches above the worm, pinch on a #2 split shot. cast it ahead of the drift, let it sink to the bottom, slow retrieve, let it drop back down to the bottom, slow retrieve. So when you feel that fish hit, lean into it, set the hook. Simple, simple, simple.
What boat did you start with?
I had a Solar sun barge.
Oh.
It was a 24-foot, 8-foot beam, tri-hull.
Yep. Let's talk about these spinner rigs real quick then. Are you, now we're throwing them downwind, so we're drifting towards them. The faster the drift, the faster you retrieve on them?
Absolutely. Straight ahead and straight back is not as good to generate strikes as a little angular retrieve is. Usually midway back, I stop the retrieve, let it parachute down, crank it up again. No. Right at the boat. That's $100.
Nice.
Thank you. I got it.
You pull right out, or you?
The first fish on the blade, on the hammer. What are you throwing? Ah, little fire tiger color with the mixed beads. Nice fish. Want me to take him and put him?
Actually, this is a Donnie Cotton spinner, who is friends with Brian Hammond.
Oh, okay.
So I had 2 rods rigged up, one with the hammer, one with this spinner. And I don't know what he calls this pattern, but
That's sharp.
that's one that Donnie Cotton gave.
And that fish is a lot darker too.
Yeah. Thank you very much. The fish hit right at the boat.
Huh, look at this. Hold still, bud. Hold still.
Ah!
Look at that.
Wow.
Looks like something took a bite out of
There's
him.
some combat going on there.
Yeah.
This lure's got the VMC hook with the plastic keeper on it. Ah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's funny, that's the only downside I've ever seen to these is I would possibly change the hook on them. What was growing up in the Finger Lakes? What were you fishing and where?
Down at Oswego Lake. Go out there for time out. I mean, real young. Spend time on the dock catching dock bass on black hair all day long.
Yeah.
Probably catch the same fish 100 times. This big thing was always spring trout. April 1st, egg sacks, and creek, that was us.
Oh yeah.
Ludloville.
That's only when we get the double digit drifters.
Oh man, that's a healthy one.
All right, guys, let me go in and see if I got another one of these in the box. That came out of 7.8 water. Got him. There it is, right there. All right, I'm ready.
Hold on, Boof. Get the sun in your face. There you go.
You saw that long. Oh, there he is. I saw you come right up. Oh, here. Oh yeah.
That's a slammer.
Wow. Yeah, that's a bad fish. Wow. Look what I got you guys. Wow.
Rolling with Matt and Tony this morning. Got a pretty good fish for this lake. Just over 22 and a quarter. And that's the 5th time he's jumped out of my hand. So we're gonna let him go.
Be kind to release him.
We're gonna let him go when we talk about it. We don't need to scale it. It's 3 something,
Yep.
not quite 4 pounds.
Yeah, that's a big fish.
But it's a good fish for Oneida Lake. And a great fish for today. So
Yeah.
goodbye, sweetheart. Swim, swim, swim. There you go, girl. Terrible release, but she's gone.
When everybody, there's one.
All right.
It's like a,
Good intel. You got one, Mike? Yes, indeed. The Ranger net with the same kind of webbing, but not as good as this webbing. You know, $65, $69 net. I got tired of the RS because net handles up here.
Anner or Schneibels or wherever you're going, and you fish from 10 o'clock to whenever.
smash that one.
Right there.
Smash
You know,
that.
That's fun. I got it.